Good morning, Philippines. Mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid. Ngayon po ay araw ng Lunes, March 25, 2026 o 2024. Pagpatuloy po natin ang ating paksa tungkol pa rin dito sa People's Initiative. Inuulit po natin mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, na atin pong sinusuportahan ang People's Initiative. Bagamat halos lahat ay ayaw dito, lalong-lalo na po ang Senado. Katunayan po, upang maiwasan ang pagkakagulo tungkol dito sa People's Initiative, nakialam na rin po ang Pangulo sa pamamagitan ng paglalatag ng formula upang magkasundo ang mababang kapulungan at ang Senado sa pamamagitan po ng paglilimita sa panukalang pag-amyenda sa 1987 Constitution. At ito po ang tinatawag na economic chacha, meaning that the proposed amendment to the Constitution by way of Constituent Assembly should be limited to the economic provisions of the Constitution. Ito po yung sinasabing economic chacha. At ayon po sa huling balita tungkol dito, approved na po ito sa mababang kapulungan. So, what is expected, aprubahan po ng Senado nang sa ganon maisumite sa taumbayan sa isang plebisito na kung saan ang sabi nga isasabay ito sa 2025 mid-year election. Mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, nabanggit natin sa nakaraang vlog na itong economic chacha ay pambubodol ng gobyerno sa taumbayan. Bakit po? Sapagkat ang sabi nga natin, lalo lamang ito magpapalala sa korupsyon. Sapagkat ang tunay na kailangan ng sambayan ng Pilipino ay economic reforms. I mean, political reforms, hindi po economic. Ngayon, ang pangunahing objection po, which is being raised in this People Initiative, is that it is accordingly being used for the term extension of office, particularly of the President and or of the incumbent speakers of the House in the person of Martin Romualdez. So, ayaw ng lahat ng People's Initiative sapagkat maaari itong gamitin upang to perpetuate in office first of the President and or of Martin Romualdez as a Prime Minister, because they said, which is most likely anyway, that once a political reforms is being effected in the 1987 Constitution, most likely there will be shifting from presidential type of government to a parliamentary type whereby President Marcos Jr. could be a prime minister or perhaps Martin Romualdez. Well, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, parang totoo po na ito nga ang kanilang balak, maging prime minister upang manatili sa kapangyarihan. Pero ang sinasabi po natin, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, wala pong basihan sa ganitong pananaw. Katunayan po itong ganitong objection. Paulit-ulit na lamang po ito. Kaya laging tinututulan ng mga politiko na kalaban ng administrasyon at ng taong bayan ang aminda sa saligang batas relative to the political reforms. Noong 1971 Constitutional Convention, which wrote the 1973 Constitution, nagkaroon po ng iskandalo sapagkat di umano ang isang delegate from Tacloban City in the person of Eduardo Quintero lumabas po sa media at nagsabi na sila daw po mga delegado ng 1971 Constitution ay sinuhulan o binigyan ng payula envelope ng dating Pangulong Marcos, then President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Nagbigay daw po ng mga payula envelope upang isulong ang pagbabago from presidential type of government to parliamentary type. At dahil po dyan, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, nagkagulo ang sambayan ng Pilipino. At yun po ang sinamantala ni Ninoy Aquino, then a very young senator. Ang sabi niya, at pinaniwalaan naman po ng taong bayan, kasama po tayo doon, Marcos intervened the writing of the 1973 Constitution to install a parliamentary type of government in order to perpetuate himself in office as Prime Minister. Because at the time, the Marcos terms of office as President had to be expired by 1973. So, nagalit ang taong bayan primarily because of the agitation of then young Senator Benigno Aquino Jr. Ang primary objection, inuulit po natin, sapagkat di umano ang dahilan of shifting from parliamentary type to from presidential type of government to parliamentary is to perpetuate in office din of the President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Pagdating po umupo si Cory, next si Ramos in 1992. Ramos started to try amending the 1987 Constitution to install a parliamentary type of government. For the same reason, the Filipino people oppose that shifting from presidential to parliamentary type. Ang naging objection ng panahon ni Ramos because accordingly, the parliamentary type of government is undemocratic for the very reason that the Filipino people do not directly elect the Prime Minister as the chief executive of the land. So, kasama po tayo doon. We oppose the Ramos initiative of installing a parliamentary type of government in favor of the Ramos initiative of installing the parliamentary type of government. Ano po ang dahilan? Inuulit natin because accordingly it was not parliamentary type of government is undemocratic for the very reason that we do not elect directly the chief executive of the land and the person of the prime minister. So pumalit po after Ramos as an interlude, pumalit si Irap. After 2 years, Irap by itself was ousted as president. Although according to the Supreme Court, Irap was considered to have resigned as president. So by succession, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo assumed as vice president, assumed as president. During the incumbency of JMA from 2001 to 2010, JMA never stopped trying to amend the Constitution by way of Constituent Assembly for the purpose of installing a parliamentary type of government. For the same reason, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, we also oppose, or the Filipino people oppose that initiative of JMA for the very reason that accordingly, the purpose of JMA was to perpetuate herself in office. So, hindi rin po natuloy. Pagdating po ni Ninoy Aquino, wala siyang pakialam. Then, in 2016, pumalit si Duterte. PRRD initiated a political reform in terms of shifting from presidential type of government to federalism by way of Constituent Assembly. Nevertheless, he did not muster the 3/4 votes of the Senate until his term of office as president expired in 2022. Now with PBBM, again, the People's Initiative is being initiated allegedly by the Speaker of the House in the person of Martin Romualdez. And the same opposition is being raised, allegedly for the very reason that the purpose of this present People's Initiative undertaking is for PBBM and or Martin Romualdez to become the Prime Minister, hence perpetuating themselves in office. Ito pong mga dahilan na to, o itong dahilan na to, mga barangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, gas-gas na po ito. Walang sapat na basihan, inaulit po natin. Bakit? Una, haka-haka lamang po yan na kapag nagkaroon ng shifting from presidential to parliamentary type, ay magiging Prime Minister si PBBM or si Martin Romualdez. Of course, it is not sure. In the first place, bago sila maging membro ng parliament, iboboto sila sa kanilang mga distrito. Once they were elected, the prime minister would be voted by the majority members from among themselves of the members of the parliament. So in other words, doon pa lamang sa first step of Martin Romualdez or PBBM being elected members of the parliament from their respective legislative districts, hindi na po sigurado yon. Hindi na po sigurado yon. Sapagkat mayroon din namang mga taong kasing sikat nila sa kanilang mga lugar. O pwede rin naman kahit hindi kasing sikat, kilalang mas matino sa kanila na pwedeng manalo bilang membro ng parliament doon sa kanilang mga legislative district. So, doon pa lamang sa unang step na yon, meron ng chance that they could not win as delegates to the parliament. Secondly, assuming for the sake of argument that they would be elected to the parliament. In the parliament, mga qualitative na ang botante doon sapagkat members of the respective o delegates of the respective legislative districts, more qualitative compared to ordinary voters, yung membro ng parliament. That being so, most likely well-educated, may mga kabuhayan na sarili yung mga membro doon sa sa parliament. So, hindi kayang suhulan. So, most likely, there is a greater, not that most likely, certainly, there is a greater risk na itong mga tao na to sa PBBM or even Martin Romualdez, assuming they would be elected to the parliament, they could not be elected as prime minister. Malaking possibility po yun. So in other words, yung sinasabi natin na dapat hindi tayo pumayag sa political reform na to kasi baka sila ang maging prime minister. Yan po ay walang basihan. Haka-haka lang yan ng mga kalaban na ayaw talaga magkaroon ng shifting from presidential to parliamentary type. In other words, this primary objection of perpetuating office on the person of Martin Romualdez or PBBM is a big fallacy. Wala pong katotohanan yan. Haka-haka lang yan. Further, even assuming that they could be elected prime ministers, temporal in character lamang po yan sapagkat mamamatay din yung mga yan. Assuming, for the sake of argument, they would be elected as Prime Minister, Martin Romualdez or PBBM. Ilang taon ba itatagal nila sa mundo? Kung ngayon nasa edad na sila ng 50, si PBBM 60 plus, 64, 65. Si Martin Romualdez assuming 50 plus. Pinakamatagal na ang 10 years or 20 years para mabuhay ang mga yan. So in other words, ayaw mo ng permanent reform because of this temporal reason na kasi baka silang maging prime minister eh. Kalokohan po yan. Mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid. That's a big fallacy. Bakit po? Once we will be shifting from presidential to parliamentary type, that is a permanent political reforms to be inherited by the future generations for lasting political changes in the Philippines, particularly the elimination of corruption which is inherited in the presidential type of government. Kung hindi po natin babaguhin itong struktura ng gobyerno, hindi lamang habang buhay natin, kung hindi habang buhay ng mga Pinoy from one generation to another, mamanahin po itong ganitong corrupt system of governance. Katunayan po dyan, mga barangay, mga kabayan, mga kababayan, mga kapatid. We started having this kind of government under the 1935 Constitution. Simula po ng 1935 hanggang 2024, 89 years. Most likely, wala na halos taong nabuhay mula noong 1935. Si Enrile na lang yata. Ilan na lang yan. Siguro 5 or 10 years ubos na yung mga tao na yan. Henerasyon ng 1935. Kung hindi po tayo magbabago ngayon, another 100 years from now, the same system, the same corruption, the same quality of life for the Filipino people. Kasi may depekto yung struktura. Yung corruption in the government mula noong 1935 hanggang ngayon, hindi po yan ang talagang depekto. Ang depekto niyan yung struktura ng government, which is presidential in character, prone to corruption. Tulad ng nabanggit natin sa mga nauna nating vlog. Kaya kung hindi mo yan babaguhin, forever habang nandyan yan, nandyan ang corruption. At hanggat nandyan ang corruption, nandyan ang kahirapan ng majority of the Filipino people. Ito po ang dahilan kung bakit we initiate a political reform being essentially necessary compared to economic reforms na pambubudol lang ng gobyerno sa taong bayan. Panluloko lamang po yan. Ang kanilang layunin talaga, mapagsilbihan ang kanilang interest. Katulad ng Senado, siyempre, ayaw nila na ma-abolish ang Senate because in a parliamentary type of government, there will be no longer the institution of the Senate. There is only one legislative body in terms of the parliament, which, as we have said, very economical kasi walang duplication. isang bansang mahirap, katulad ng sinasabi natin, dapat tayo magtipid. Secondly, time, saving. Kasi pag naaprubahan na sa parliament, batas na. Hindi katulad ngayon, aprubahan na sa lower house. Kailangan aprubahan ng Senado. Or kaya approve na sa Senado, kailangan aprubahan sa lower house. So there is a duplication as to expenses, as to time, as to effort. Ang masama po, ang Senado, sabi nga natin, is a vestige of oligarchy. Not only that, it is the Senate makes the Philippines one of the worst undemocratic country and contravention to the Constitution. Section 1, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution provides the Philippines is a republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people. All government authority emanates from them. Ours is a government of laws, not of men. So, kung babasahin po natin yung mga provisions na yan, yung Section 1, Article 2, very democratic ang sistema ng ating gobyerno in writing. But in practice, this is the most undemocratic with the Senate. Bakit po? Sabi nga natin, we are governed by laws enacted by Congress, by the Senate. Ang senador po, 24. Valid quorum, 13. Majority of 13 is 7. So, ano po ibig sabihin yan? Ang implikasyon, 120 million Filipinos, more than 120 million Filipinos is being governed by 7 persons. 7 persons and the persons of the senators. Ang masakit pa po dyan, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, ang nasa Senado po ay close friends, close na magkakamag-anak. Halimbawa po dyan, sa ngayon magkapatid si Pia at si Alan Cayetano. Magkapatid si Jinggoy Estrada at si JB Ejercito. Mag-ina si Mark Villar at si Cynthia Villar. Ilan na yun? Sila palang 6 na. Magkapatid si Alan at si Pia, magkapatid si JB at si Jinggoy, mag-ina si Villar at si Mark. Sila palang 6 na. Magkapatid, mag-ina. At ngayong 2025 election, major election, sinasabi, base daw sa mga survey, maaaring magkaroon ng 3 tolpo sa Senado. Andyan si Rapi Tolpo, papasok si Erwin, papasok si Ben Tolpo. Bakit? Sapagkat pumapasok daw ito sa 12 senatoriables pagdating ng 2025. So sa ganito pong uri ng Senado na mayroon tayo, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, para po tayong mga loko-loko, na ang kapalaran natin at ang kapalaran ng darating pang henerasyon ay hawak sa liig ng mga senador. Katulad po ngayon, mayroong isinusulong na People's Initiative. Ayaw ng Senado. So anong nangyari? the President himself in the person of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. initiated a compromise agreement to the effect that the amendments should be limited to economic provisions, and this is what we call economic chacha. So dahil lamang sa interes ng ilang senador na magkakamag-anak, gusto man natin magkaroon ng political reforms, hindi pwede sapagkat totol sila. Ito po ay talagang malaking prueba na pahamak sa buhay ng mga Pilipino itong Senado. Hindi po ito nakakatulong mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid. Dapat po tanggalin yan. And the only way to abolish Senate is to go on with this people's initiative. Sapagkat dito po sa isinusulong na people's initiative, ang sinasabi po dito that proposed amendments to the Constitution can be done or can be proposed by the Congress as a constituent assembly with 3/4 votes voting jointly. So ano po ibig sabihin yan? Kung matutuloy po ito, kung mayroong 300 membro ang House of Representatives, dadagdag mo po yung 24 na senador, then you get the 3/4 votes of the 324 without distinction as to whether the same is a vote of the congressman or of the senator. So in that case, outvoted ang Senate, matutuloy po ang People's Initiative, at pagdating po ng Constituent Assembly, ganun din po ang mangyayari. So magkakaroon po ang proposal direct from the people na mabago yung mode of amending the Constitution by way of Constituent Assembly, sapagkat definitely the Senate would be outvoted and most likely parliamentary type of government would be adopted, setting aside the presidential type of government. Without this people's initiative being approved by the people, definitely hindi po tayo magkakaroon ng shifting from presidential to parliamentary type of government. At ang resulta po niya, mga barangay, mga kabarangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, forever po na maghirap ang Pinoy from one generation to another. Ano po ang katibayan niyan? Ulit-ulit po na sinasabi natin, mula pa noong 1935 to 2024, it has been 29 or 89 years. And yet, mula noon hanggang ngayon, patuloy na naghihirap ang majority, ang masang Pilipino. Samantalang ang iilan na mga membro ng oligarchs sa ating lipunan ay lalong yumayaman. At ang higit na masakit dito, mga barangay, mga kababayan, mga kapatid, after 89 years of being a presidential type of government, wala po tayo nakikitang banaag at sikat ng pag-unlad sa buhay ng masang Pilipino. Ito po ay malaking kaululan, malaking kabalintunaan, at malaking kamangmangan sa bahagi ng mga Pinoy kung patuloy po tayo na manatili sa ganitong uri ng istruktura ng gobyerno. Gayong mula noon hanggang ngayon, nagdudulot ito ng kahirapan sa ating bansa. At ang lalo pong masakit, lalo pong nagiging madilim. After 89 years, lalong nagiging madilim ang kinabukasan ng mga Pinoy. At samantala po, atin pong wakasan ang ating talakayan ngayong umaga. Muli, magandang umaga, Pilipinas.